Today I'm going to show you some of my favorite products that Apple has discontinued. Now let's rewind the clock back to 1976 to Apple's first product launch, the Apple I, Apple's first computer launch. They produced 200 units of their revolutionary product, and after 1 year in September of 1977, the Apple I was officially discontinued after the successful product launch of the Apple Series II, Apple's successor to the initial computer launch. Moving up half a decade to 1983, the launch of the Apple Lisa was Apple's first personal computer to feature a graphical user interface. The Lisa had an astonishing retail price of $9,995 in 1983, and it made it nearly impossible to sell. And in today's money, that would be equivalent to roughly $31,500. No wonder the Apple Lisa was discontinued at the very end of the same year that it was launched. Skipping to the 90s, Apple introduced the PowerBook 100, which was the first look into the future of Apple laptops. This specific model wasn't even made by Apple. It was designed and engineered by Sony and was released in September of 1991, and was ultimately let out to pasture the following August. By 1993, Apple would introduce another game-changing product foreshadowing future products to come. In 1993, the Message Pad was introduced, nicknamed the Pocket Computer, Apple's first tablet computer. The Message Pad had 8 different models released throughout the 90s until it was finally discontinued in 1998. In the mid-90s, Apple introduced the QuickTake 100, which was their first venture into the digital camera market. Imagine today they still made digital cameras as a standalone product, separate from their cameras that are included in their various product lineups. They could have taken on Sony and Canon and other major brands. Regardless, the QuickTake was discontinued in 1997. Arguably one of the most important products Apple has released came in 1998, with the release of the iMac G3, which turned Apple into a household name and truly put them on the map. The iMac G3 lasted until 2003, until it was discontinued to make way for future models. Come 2001, Apple introduced the iPod, which would change the music industry forever. The digital music player has had many iterations, but the iPod Classic was finally set off into the sunset in 2014. In 2007, Apple launched the iPhone, which would quite literally divide the mobile phone market for eternity. The iPhone, which would create a cult-like following, would go down as one of the last major products that Steve Jobs would work on before his unfortunate passing years later. Like every iPhone launch, the original iPhone was discontinued 1 year later. Lastly, one of the weirdest products to find its way into Apple's graveyard is the iPod socks, which were multicolored knit socks that were designed to protect the iPod during travel. Introduced in 2004, the iPod socks would last a staggering 8 years until they were finally discontinued in 2012.